I'm very honored to have this opportunity to play the master of ceremony and have the opportunity to introduce our esteemed speakers of today's session. I would like to introduce you our two speakers. One of them is going to be on live, Ms. Professor Alessandra Priante, the Regional Director for Europe. My director, Ms. Natalia Bayona, who is directing the Innovation, Education, Investment Department of UNWTO. A special welcome to our guest from the European Commission, Ms. Misha Laberil, Policy Officer from DG Internal Market, Industry, Entrepreneurship and SMEs, the Tourism and Textile Unit on behalf of the European Commission. And of course, a great welcome to our special partners who are making the Digital Futures program up and running. First of all, very warm welcome to Ms. Solveig Honoré Hatton, who is the Senior Vice President, Government Engagement of Europe on behalf of MasterCard. Mr. Ramon Sanchez, Head of Strategic Projects of Amadeus Destinations on behalf of Amadeus. Mr. Adrián Suárez Armas, Head of Strategic Projects on behalf of Telefónica Tech. And last but not least, our latest strategic partner, Mr. John Lohr, Director of Strategic Partnerships and Innovation of HOSCO, who is also having a double head because he will be also representing another partner of ours, Lobster Inc., who just joined in the last couple of weeks to our program. And of course, a big welcome to our participants. As I see, we are almost having 50 participants from all around Europe, particularly. But of course, as this webinar was open for around the globe, there might be people joining for us from everywhere else. So without any further delay, I would like to give the floor to the esteemed opening remarks, Mrs. Alessandra Priante. Alessandra, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Peter, and good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here. We are very, very proud at the Regional Department of Europe for having been the facilitators with our great partners at the European Commission, and specifically the Directorate-General for Internal Market, Industry, Entrepreneurship and SMEs, which is technically known as DG GROW, for having made this possible. This is I was just discussing, I think Misa was aware, Misa Labarile, thank you very much for being with us. She's not only an innovation genius, but she's also a dear friend, representing the best of Italy in the European Commission. We were just having a conversation yesterday in one of our many chats that we have with the Italian tourism friends who are preparing for the historic day of tomorrow. By the way, it's European Tourism Day tomorrow, and I was realizing how proud we are that we are putting forward the first, I would say, UNWTO program for SMEs, specifically focused as a digitalization of SMEs and being ready to really equip all the SMEs, specifically in this case targeting the EU27, to address all the upcoming challenges. One of which is the one tackled by the European Year of Skills. So without any further ado, you made all the beautiful introductions, Peter. So I'm just going to join in thanking all our great partners and thanking my dear colleague, Natalia Bayona, who's going to follow me in the opening remarks. And I really want to thank all of you who are participating here. One thing that is very important, please use the word of mouth to make sure that this program really has its widest reach, because we really believe this is one of the most beautiful programs that the UNWTO has. Also championing SDG 17, which is the public-private partnership. And we have all these amazing companies with us, MasterCard, Amadeus, Lobster Inc. and Telefonica, who just want to come and join our effort in making sure that the SMEs are ready and they're scaled up with the right skills to address the challenges of tomorrow. The recent report published by Eurostat in mid-April confirms that we have very solid figures for tourism. Internal tourism consumption in the EU27 countries in 2022 amounted approximately to 1.2 billion euro. And our barometer, the UNWTO barometer, which is probably the largest and most known element of communication when it comes to data worldwide for tourism, basically recorded specifically for the region of Europe, which is the one that I proudly direct, a little bit larger than the 27. We recorded 585 million arrivals in 2022, which is, we are very close to pre-pandemic levels. Always the question remains the same. When we talk about data have to be good data to make good decisions. But the question always remains the same. Were these data of 2019 good data? Because at the time we were talking about different type of challenges. And at the moment, the challenges that we have is that we are still looking at a very relevant skills gap, but also at a widespread labor shortage in the tourism sector, specifically in Europe. So as I was mentioning before, this is all the more important because this year is the European Year of Skills. So we are really calling all together, united, for trainings that are targeting the reskilling of the tourism workforce. And in many cases, the reskilling also means being able to reattract the workforce that left the tourism sector back into tourism. So this is why the only way we need to do this is hand in hand with the key players for the tourism sector at large. That's why we're so proud to have all these partners with us. So the theme of today's webinar is very pertinent, we think, to the present challenges of supporting the SMEs in the tourism sector, but also for the future needs. So this is why it is very, I'm personally very much looking forward to Misa's presentation and input. But furthermore, we very strongly welcome the European tourism agenda that was adopted in the Council of the EU in December of last year, where all the policymakers just very bluntly strengthened the need for the support of the digital skills of tourism SMEs to provide innovative tourism products, services, and effective communication with their clients. So we're all together celebrating this return of the European Tourism Day. We're very happy that finally tourism has gained a primary position also within the European institutions. And believe me, for having been one that fought for it for a long time, it is really very, very important to see it there. So I'm looking forward to being a witness of this discussion. Please, all of you connected, feel free to also talk to us, send questions, chat, ask for contacts, and mostly interact with the Digital Future program. It is very, very important you take your initial, let's say, questionnaire, and then you log in to whatever are the possibilities of trainings that are offered through our beautiful platform. Again, thank you, European Commission. Thank you, DG Grow, for synergizing with us for these very important efforts. Our joint hope is to contribute to better tailor the digital services and products which tourism SMEs can deliver it in Europe. So once again, thank you. And my floor goes to Natalia Bayona. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alessandra, for the wonderful words. I always feel underqualified to speak after you. It used to be in the last 3 years, and I feel that it's going to continue in the years to come. It's difficult to add anything to this besides, I think it's a wonderful opportunity, as you said, to trying to find synergies between UNWTO work related to synergy, to digital transformation, innovation, and of course, the really wonderful work of European Commission led by DG Grow in this regard. So thank you for you once again to bringing this opportunity for everyone, particularly to our members in Europe. And of course, what is the Digital Future program is meant for is our SMEs around the tourism value chain. So let me now share my screen and provide the video message of Natalia Bayona, who unfortunately is not able to participate in today's session, but sending you its best regards and hope to see you soon, and not only virtually, but also physically. Can you see the screen?
We can, Peter.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today with all of you. First of all, remember that 4 years ago, when our Secretary-General, Surab Pololikashvili, came to the UNWTO, he decided to include innovation, technology, as part one of his strongest pillars. Of course, today, the UNWTO has at least 5 priorities inside this house: innovation and digital transformation, education, investments, sustainability, and of course, added value jobs. Today, we would like to start this amazing conference with how these pillars can help us to create a better society, how these pillars can help us to create a better tourism sector. Why innovation is crucial? Innovation is crucial because it's the power of youth. Thanks to innovation, we have the power to give the voice to the most youngest generations that it has different solutions when technology is part of the new ventures. When we talk about technology, remember that the startup ecosystem is key in order to talk about a sustainable innovation. When I talk about the innovation ecosystem, I'm talking about adding value to the 6 actors of the ecosystem that are, as you know, innovators, entrepreneurs, startups, governments, institutions or accelerators, innovation labs, corporates, investors, and the academia. Without those 6 working together, it's impossible to talk about a sustainable innovation. What are we doing inside the UNWTO? As you know, we have 4 programs that we're running today: the startup competitions, the innovation challenges, the tourism tech adventures are our key innovation forums, and of course, our innovation network. Thanks to those 4 programs, we have more than 10,000 startups that have applied to our competitions from more than 150 countries. The more used technologies are based on artificial intelligence, big data analytics, digital marketing, where augmented reality, virtual reality, and Internet of Things are crucial. These technologies has been really mature. Nonetheless, we have a lot to do. From the 100 subsectors of the tourism sector, only the innovation is going to 3 subsectors that are mobility and transport, e-commerce, and of course, hospitality. But the question is, where are the innovators in gastronomy? Where are the innovators in health? Where are the innovators in manufacturing? Remember that when you build a hotel, where you build an amusement park that is part of the touristic chain, you need manufacturing goods, you need towels, you need fruits, you need a lot of things to create a new experience. Where is the innovation when it comes to meetings, incentives, congresses, and events? We need the power of youth, of the youngest entrepreneurs, of the SMEs, and of course of the startups to create new technologies and to help us to innovate not only in these 3 hotspots, if I can say, that basically are 50% of the whole innovation of the tourism sector. We need to diversify a little bit more on the different subsectors in order to have a 360 integral and complete innovation. Then, thanks to our programs again, our startups have raised more than $240 million. This only in the last 3 years. And this, once again, is aligned with joining efforts between the public and the private sector. I can say that thanks to the power of partnerships, we can, Amadeus, MasterCard, Globalia, Wakalua, the governments of Portugal, Argentina, Colombia, Spain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Macau, among others, have been supporting these programs, and thanks to them, today, innovation is a reality inside the UNWTO, and the connections has been done to create more than 100 pilot projects and more than 300 mentorship programs. In that way, we are helping the smallest to grow. So, innovation today has the challenge in not only in helping the tourism ecosystem to get more mature. The biggest challenge I see in the touristic innovation ecosystem is with the SMEs. As you know, tourism, the touristic chain is created by different actors, but 80% of those actors are small and medium enterprises. And unfortunately, during COVID times, they have received a lot of funds for surviving, not for investing in technology, not for investing on innovation. This is the moment where we need to empower the SMEs, to help them and to mind the gap in order to have a sustainable sector where everybody can use technology. That's why inside the UNWTO, we created the UNWTO Digital Futures, a program that was launched during the last UNWTO General Assembly, which aim is to bring accessibility and to bring access to new technologies to the small and medium enterprises. It's really easy. You just need to go to the UNWTO website, click on the Digital Futures program. You need to enroll and to fill a form, and then we will, thanks to the partnership with MasterCard, we will be able to connect and to give you a personal assessment on where is your SME, where are your gaps, and what do you need to fill those gaps. We decided to create 4 verticals that are the most important technologies that are needed in our sector. The technologies are, first of all, digital payments by far. Second of all, cloud. Third of all, digital marketing. And fourth of all, everything related to artificial intelligence and how through artificial intelligence you can predict in different data-driven models. With those 4, the idea is to train more than 2 million SMEs and then to give them access to digital tools and to keep those tools into their own businesses. Without the power of the SMEs and without them digitized, we cannot talk about a modern tourism sector. I want to finish by telling you that, of course, the UNWTO is here to help. That today I have been briefed on the 3 pillars that I lead inside the UNWTO that are helping to change the vision of the most human economic sector. But remember that without them, without innovation, without education, without investments, we cannot talk about a sustainable tourism. And without empowering youth, we cannot talk about the tourism sector that is the most important sector for them. I wish you all the best, and I just want to encourage you to join us and to join all the programs that the UNWTO is running today for better, for the good of our society, and of course, for achieving our common agenda that is the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Natalia, for the great words, not only informing our participants about the nature of the Digital Futures program, but also going into details about what this department is doing when it comes to innovation. Without further delay, I would like to move on with the agenda of today's event and do a little presentation about the Digital Futures program, which will provide everyone a better understanding how the program works, which are the key partners, and how you can benefit from it. Can you confirm that you see my screen?
Yes, we do, Peter.
Thank you, Alessandra. As you all know very well, that the tourism is directly contributing to the tourism economy globally, around 4% of the GDP. So it's extremely relevant that tourism is mainstreamed, not only in the European tourism agenda or in the political agenda of Europe, but all around the world. As Alessandra and my director, Natalia, highlighted, when it comes to the tourism value chain of tourism, almost 85% of it, it's made up to small and medium-sized enterprises, according to the OECD, one of its presentation. And when it comes to the European Union, this number is even going higher up. So out of the 3.2 million tourism businesses, almost 99% of it were micro or small and medium-sized enterprises. So based on these numbers, I think it's extremely important that UNWTO, thanks to its partner, crafted this program, because the SMEs of the tourism sector really matters. Of course, as we know, that the SMEs are the priority for us, and they are the ones who are foster a better future for tourism for all. The UNWTO Digital Futures Program was created, I would say, on the ashes of the COVID-19 pandemic, which definitely showed that there is a need to boost and accelerate economic recovery and helping and scaling up the SMEs to unleash the digital technologies and supporting job creation and, of course, the future of the resilience. As you can see, the program was officially launched in our previous General Assembly for our member states, but for the greater public, it was launched on the 17th of May, 2022, so almost more or less a year ago. The objectives of the program are threefold. Number one is to foster partnerships with key tech companies to accelerate digital transformation, innovation, and sustainable solutions for SMEs and startups in the tourism sector. Number two, to providing digital educational programs and tools to uptake the use of digital technologies and tools to increase competitiveness of SMEs and startups in the tourism sector. And last but not least, which is a little bit similar to priority number one, to enable synergies with large tech companies to accelerate, mentor, and promote technology services, once again, primary for SMEs and startups of the tourism sectors. When we started the program, we decided to focus on 8 subsectors of the tourism industry. The prioritized subsectors you can see on the screen: food and beverages, accommodation, travel support services, commercialization and distribution, financial services, information services, transportation services, and complementary services. Why these 8 subsectors have been identified? Of course, it's very easy because the majority of the SMEs are coming from these subtext sectors. So we were aiming to help and provide the assistance on those subsectors where was the need the most. The digital future benefits, of course, through its digital diagnostic tool to assess the SMEs across 6 key digital dimensions and benchmark against industry best practices and obtain expert recommendations. We might hear a little bit more about this digital diagnostic tool from our colleague of the MasterCard, because they are the ones who are running directly that platform. Number 2, the digital path, which has been elaborated and curated based on impact assessments of adoption of digital and disruptive technologies in SMEs during the COVID-19 crisis and market trends, and different reports coming from UNWTO and other organizations that identified digital fluency, skills shortages, and needs across different tourism subsectors. So the digital path and tools are there to help SMEs to build business resilience and prepare them for future growth. And last but not least, of course, to provide free training to build SMEs' digital skills and equip them with equip their workforce for success in the new normal. There are 5 digital paths. One is related to connectivity, one is business growth, one is about e-commerce, one is big data analytics, one is payment security. The Digital Future Partners, and once again, thank you for accepting our invitation and welcome today's webinar, is MasterCard, Amadeus, Telefonica, POSCO, and Ecolab Lob Inkster. Thanks to their products and solutions, which are attached to this 5 digital path, the SMEs going through the evaluation are able to find various programs available for them in the platform to bring forward their digitalization agenda. How is the journey look like in practice? Of course, the website is there. The website is already up and running now more than a year. Everyone can access on it. So after a simple registration, you will be led to another website where you can take a digital diagnostic tool, and based on that, you will be able to choose a digital path according to your track record provided by a report. Once this is done, you will be guided to access the digital tools and specialized trainings, what you can do it, of course, on your free space. And last but not least, once it's done, of course, we hope this is going to provide you the necessary tools and solutions to bring your own agenda related to digitalizations further. How a member states particularly can help, and I'm really happy to see some of our focal points from the regional department from Europe participating on it. We want you to encourage your SMEs of your tourism system to participate in the Digital Futures program, or if you want to go a further step, then you can commit, and then we can come an individual country-based agreement where you can commit that you really will reach out to 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 SMEs around your supply chain and direct them to the Digital Futures program, providing the analytical tools. Based on that tool, once the analysis is done by us and by our partners, UNWTO and our partners are ready to go in a country and provide on-site capacity building workshops related to those 5 areas, depending which has been identified as potential gaps for your sector. Of course, if there is any potential partners you think that you could bring to the program, we are really happy and we are having open arms to integrate them into the system. As of today, we have SME application from 35 European countries. 18 of the countries are coming from the European Union, and of course, another 17 coming from the wider European region, with a total number of 200 SMEs registered in the list and went through the analysis. So as you can see, there is a huge opportunity to bring this number forward. We are really targeting to reach between 1 and 2 million SMEs in the upcoming years. So we really count on Europe based on the numbers that what have been shown in one of the sites, either coming from the European Union, of course, particularly thanks to this, because we are celebrating today and tomorrow the European Tourism Day. And of course, thanks to Alessandra for having countries from the wider region of Europe. Nevertheless, as I said in the beginning, this is not a European program, the Digital Futures program. This is a global program run for each and every country of the world. So whomever is interested, please feel to contact us, or please feel to go to the website and carry out the Digital Future analysis. Going digital, as you know, is more urgent than ever. SME acceleration is tourism growth. So we can hope that we can count on your support. Thank you very much. Hope this is provided a little bit a further explanation of what the Digital Futures program is about. And I'm really happy to proceed forward to our next presenter, Ms. Misha Labarile. Labarile, policy officer. And Misha, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Peter. And I think you stole some of our messages, but in a very good way, meaning that I think we're aligned on so many aspects. And I'll get into that in a minute. Before, I would like to introduce to you Alessia. She's our latest acquisition in the team. And she works on monitoring how well we're doing with our strategy. So if she could put the video on, she'll be giving you a bit of information, which I think is very interesting and helpful. Now, while she figures out the video, I am going to share my screen. We have a few slides, not very many, so don't worry too much about it. Let me see if I can just share very quickly my PowerPoint presentation, and let me know if you have a problem seeing it. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Brilliant. Great. So now all I can see right now is my PowerPoint. I cannot see you, but I can hear you. So interrupt me anytime you want. And I hope, Alessia, you are there with us.
Yes, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitation.
Great. So without further ado, Alessandra has said wonderful things about me, about us. I think she's very generous in her assessment of what I personally do. This is a big team effort that we're putting forward with this transition pathway. And when I say team effort, I also mean that the European Commission, there is no way we can do this alone. We absolutely have to work with all our stakeholders. And to give you an idea of just how much we need that, let me see if I can show the next slide. Does it show, Alessia?
I cannot see it, but
No,
maybe no.
no, I don't know why this is not working for you. I don't think I've managed to go on, but perhaps, Alessia, can you help me out?
Of course.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Brilliant. This is a very ugly slide. I hate it normally, and I only put it there just to give you the idea of how much we involve our stakeholders at every step of the way. What this slide simply gives you, please don't worry about reading it, is we talk to everyone. We have to listen to everybody, and we need to work with as many partners as possible, because the European Commission does not make any rules about tourism. We do not regulate tourism, the tourism sector, but we do regulate, as European Commission, other aspects of the economy, like data sharing, the mobility sector. I'm just giving you a couple. The Green Deal would regulate a lot that has to do with climate change. You know all of this, but and you know how much the impact of each one of these strands of work has on tourism. Tourism is everything, really. So we talk to all of these stakeholders. And that is why I put this really confusing and overwhelming slide there to tell you everything we do is a result of cooperation. Now, on the next slide, which I hope you can see,
Yes.
I wanted to give you a few messages, well, a few ideas on how so we have a strategy, the Transition Pathway for Tourism. We will present it tomorrow at the European Tourism Day, and we will tell participants and those who follow us online where we are and what we mean to do next. But at the same time, obviously, it's a daily task that we monitor the progress of the transition path, and this is what Alessia does. So she's gonna take it away now for a couple of minutes to tell you exactly what's going on, particularly with the digital side of it, because there's so much more to our transition pathway than digital. But today we're talking digital and we're talking SMEs, and so we're trying to focus on that so that I can show you just how much I think we are aligned. Go, take it away,
Yes.
Alessia.
Thank you, Misa, and thank you for introducing the complex work that we are doing here at DG Grow for the transition pathway for tourism. And I would now like to focus on one specific aspect of it, that is the continuously open call that DG Grow has to invite stakeholders to submit their concrete actions for the transition pathway under one or more of the 27 topics of the transition pathway and in the form of pledges. This system not only gives them the flexibility to define their own targets, but is also provide with examples of leadership in the sector, and facilitates the best practice sharing, because the pledges are published twice a year with a related report. I highly recommend you to have a look at the last one that has been published on 31st of March, so it's super recent. And it shows that we already received hundreds of pledges, and we are looking forward to receive much more from you, from SMEs, from the sector, the stakeholders of the industry. In the report is analyzing pledges divided in topics of 5 macro areas, and one of them, as Misa introduced, is the digital transition. This area has received a total of 73 pledges under 5 topics. And one of them is the support of digitalization of tourism SME. So it explicitly mentioned the work of the Commission on this thing. And it's a work for the SMEs. It actually is the one that has received the highest number of submissions. At the same time, if we are working on actions for the SMEs, it's interesting to remark that the support from SMEs is very strong, because not only SMEs have received the highest, have submitted the highest number of pledges for the digital transition area, but overall for all the pledges with alongside with business associations. And that said, I would like to give back the floor to Misa.
We want, with this, we just want to show the fact that we have priorities and we have actions that we want to get done. Not today, not tomorrow. It will be a bit of a long process, obviously, as you all know. This may take time, but it's already happening, and we can coordinate that effort. We will coordinate it, and we will have tools in the future to coordinate it even better. But it's happening on the ground already. So what we're trying to do here with these pledges is to figure out where the progress is happening, to give it visibility and to make sure that others can take inspiration. It's just one of our tools, but that's what we are working most on when it comes to the whole of the transition pathway. Now, when it comes to more of the digitalization kind of actions, there's plenty, and I'm sure that I'm preaching to the converted. You've all read that document, I am pretty sure, because it came out a year ago, and as Sandra said, it's been endorsed, politically, but all the governments of the European Union in December. So we have an agenda, political agenda. So we all know what's in it. But when it comes to digitalization of all the actions that we have going, what we're particularly working on right now is the data space for tourism. And this is my pet file. This is what I mostly work on. This is how I spend, I want to say 6 out of 8 hours every day. And it is our priority for the moment. Our commissioner is very keen to get this out. It won't be, again, it's a long process, so it won't be immediately, but you will hear a lot about it. And tomorrow there'll be a whole panel focusing on the data space for tourism. So there'll be a digital panel that focuses on the data space. Why? Because, and this is what both Peter and Alessandra mentioned earlier, and Natalia, because when we think innovation, we're thinking there's not going to be any innovation in the sector without access to data, which is access to information. Let's try and demystify this big data, dimension. It's information. So what the Commission wants is for every sector to allow more stakeholders, more people, more actors, more business to access better information and more diversified. How to do that is by improving data sharing. There are EU rules targeting that, but not particularly for tourism. So in tourism, what we do is we're going to set up a data space that provides EU-level standards and a EU-level model of governance. Now, lots of people and lots of stakeholders come to us and ask us what a data space is. The concept is intuitive, not easy, but very intuitive. It's a combination of a model of governance, deciding together who has access and when and to which data. And also it's a set of standards, language, semantics, technical standards to share data. That way, different data domains can talk to one another. This is the simplest way that I have to put it, but it's that simple as a concept. A lot more complicated to put forward when it comes to the model of governance, because a lot of data that is important for tourism stays with business actors, and it's commercial data that has been invested on. So it has to be shared based on principles that work for the business. We can't just expect data to be shared freely just because we say so. First of all, we can't make it compulsory, and we don't want to make it compulsory. And second, data has value, and we want to respect that. But we also want to make sure that our SMEs have access to more and better information. This is the idea. This is the mission. 2023, this year, is the year when we get ready to get that going, and we do that through these 2 projects. Those are active links. If you stay with the slides, then you will have access to who's doing what. But these 2 projects are helping us figuring out a blueprint on how to get it done. They're working on a model of governance for us, and by the end of this year, we'll have recommendations. So you feel free to click on it, feel free to get in touch with many of these actors. I know Amadeus is in it, so they're here with us, and it's great that we keep talking about this, and we're working together on this. The data space is all great and dandy. The idea is fabulous. What we are concerned about is we want to make sure SMEs can make use of it. Now, Peter rightly pointed out earlier, almost all of SMEs, all of business in tourism in Europe is SMEs. So they're very small. Some of them are really small, they're micro enterprises. How can we expect a small hotel to use the data space? And this is where I think the private sector can really help by complementing what we do. You talk a lot about skills, and I will talk about skills, but there's also the fact that the private sector has the tools and the means to provide an access tools, a user-friendly way for SMEs to access the data space. I think that would be very interesting to explore. Not for now, but it's something that we should think about. We at the European level also have support measures for SMEs available. That's number 2 on my list. And these measures are literally innovation hubs, business angels, the network that we already have going, which also works for tourism SMEs. And I'm more than happy to provide links for this, but it's very easy to find if you Google it. But again, any questions, shoot me an email. And then there's the skills, which I'm very happy to talk about because that also complements data, because there's all the data you can have is only as good as the use you want to make of it. So you need to have a strategy, which means that your skills need to be digital. I like that Peter called it digital fluency. I love it. But you also need to have some kind of business skills behind it, a strategy for use that data, and so you have to be digital savvy and business savvy. For that, we have a pact for skills for tourism, which is not just about digital skills, it's about green skills, business skills, anything that it could upskill the workforce and bring it to the next level. And there are some information here about the pact for skills, but this year is also the European Year for Skills. So it's interesting how it was supposed to be, up until a year and a half ago, it was supposed to be the mobility year. And then our president, Ursula von der Leyen, decided, no, I think skill has to have the upper hand here. We need to really boost it. So let's make 2023 a year for skills. And this came very abruptly, but it gives you the sense of how urgent this is. And on May 9th, the European Year for Skills will launch, which will give everyone, including non-European actors such as you guys, the UNWTO, your partners, an opportunity to showcase your skills initiative. So get in touch. It's not DigiGrow, it's not us, me, Alessia. We don't do that because it's much broader than just tourism, but we can put you in touch with who does, who follows that, who coordinates that. One last word about skills, which could be interesting for you. The council, which is where the ministers meet. The councils very recently came out with council recommendations about digital skills. This is super interesting because forget the jargon. The council recommendation is a way of all the ministers to come together and say, okay, we commit on something together, 27 governments, committing on making digital skills more transparent and to make them solid. And in these council recommendations, feel free to Google it, you'll find it online. They also mentioned the possibility of setting up a European Digital Skills Certificate. A certificate is very difficult to accomplish at European level because that means all governments have to agree on standards, but imagine having it. We will have a pilot project starting. I think it will go on until 2024. Again, it's not us doing this and it's not just tourism, but it is very interesting. And I think will be very interesting for the Digital Futures program as well. So if you want to know more about it, get in touch with us and we'll put you in touch who follows this. And I think skills are super interesting also as it comes strictly to tourism and for what we put in the transition pathway as priorities for the future. If I'm not wrong, Alessia, I think you have some figures about this, yes, which I'm going to put on for you.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Misa. And another slide with a few numbers about the role of the transition pathway for skills, and specifically in tourism. So as I mentioned before, our pledges are categorized in 5 different macro areas. And one of them is already said digital transition, but another one is skills and resilience. And after 3 rounds, we received 68 pledges and for 7 topics. And the interesting point is that this area is the one that has received the highest increase in terms of numbers of pledges submitted from the
In a
second
matter of
to
months,
the
right? Like
third
highest
round.
increase in a matter of months. So there's a lot of
Exactly.
interest in this. And that's how good a European Year for Skills can be, because it really brings the momentum on a topic.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, the one that the topic that has the highest share of pledges is exactly the one for Pact for Skills in Tourism, and this is definitely in line with all the plan and the initiatives related to the European Year of Skills that will be 2023. And the second one is also educational organization to engage in developing and renewing education. So again, the support from both sides, from the Commission and also from the stakeholders. It's there and it's real, and these figures show it.
Yeah, and something else that's not shown on indicators or numbers is, but for you to know, the European Parliament is very keen on working on skills in tourism. So if you want to engage with European institutions, we are a good actor, we're good stakeholders to talk to, because like I said, we coordinate what we do in tourism, but please talk to your MEPs, your members of the European Parliament, if you are European actors. Talk to those who work in the European Parliament, because they can really move priorities. They can push priorities with the Commission and the governments, and they're very, very keen on working on everything that has to do with more budget for tourism and more skills for the tourism workforce. And with this, I conclude, and it's the same exact slide that Peter showed you. Please, let's work together. Let's keep sharing best practices and ideas. Please get in touch with us should you ever need more information. And the last slide that stays with you, it's links to everything I've talked about and Alessia has told you about. Get in touch, send us your commitments, and let us know what you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, Peter, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, the COVID fever. Yes, thank you, Misha, and thank you, Alessia, for this fantastic and great presentation. I believe that this is one of the biggest undertakings the European Commission is doing in tourism in recent years, no? The tourism pathways and whatever it comes with it. Also, we know lots of movements at the level of the Council, and of course, as you said, the European Parliament was always a great supporter of tourism and pushing higher in the agenda of the European Union as such. So thank you very much once again. Hope, with your permission, that we can share the presentation with the participants. We can place it on the website. So thank you very much for this. And now, without any further delay, let's go to our partner session, because I think this is a wonderful opportunity, providing to them this platform to share about your thoughts, how the Digital Future program is working and what is their role in it. So without any further ado, I would like to give the floor to Ms. Solveig Honoré-Hatton, Senior Vice President, Government Engagement Europe, on behalf of MasterCard. Solveig, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Peter. Hi, everyone. I'm really delighted to be here today with you all. And let me really quickly start and jump into why we're here. And let's start with the key figures that actually some of them have been already mentioned by you, Peter or Natalia. So I see we have the same sources. This is a good sign. And this is really a good sign of our total alignment on why this Digital Future program for SMEs in the tourism sector in Europe is so important, and we're proud to be part of it. So first figure that I wanted to share again, that has been mentioned already, but just let me repeat it. SMEs do represent today around 85% of the global tourism value chain. So they are really the backbone of the value of this industry. Another key figure that I like is, according to the European Union data, over 12 million people in the EU alone are employed by 2 million tourism businesses, and the majority of them are small and medium-sized enterprises. And the third figure that I like about what we're talking about, last figure but not least, the World Travel Tourism Council estimates the tourism industry contributed to 8% of the European GDP in 2022. I think, Peter, you mentioned the global GDP of 4%. but in Europe, it's 8% of European GDP that is represented by the tourism industry. So it's really obvious that the success of SMEs is vital to the global and regional tourism sectors and is really vital to our European economy, full stop. So digitalization for me is certainly playing a crucial role in ensuring that the future growth of the European tourism sector is sustainable, inclusive, given that, and we all know that our society and economy are going through rapidly changing changes, geopolitical one, environmental and technological transformations. So I truly believe that governments have an important role to play in empowering these tourism-focused SMEs to build really this resiliency. And us, private sector, we really need to support this effort. So to help the SMEs in the tourism sector secure their future in this increasingly digital world, we are at Mastercard very proud to partner with you, UNWTO, and the other private sector stakeholders in the panel today to support the Digital Future Program. Let me share a few words of this great program and concretely talk to SMEs about how to access to this program and what they can find in it. Again, I think some of what I'm going to share have been already mentioned by some of you already, but I think, you know, repetition is always good to make sure that people have easy access to this program. So first, to access the program, basically, SMEs, you can register on the UNWTO Digital Future Program website, and upon which you will receive an email providing you access to a free digital readiness diagnostic tool powered by Mastercard. I really insist on the free. It's totally free. And basically, by completing a self-assessment questionnaire on your business operations, you will receive or be able to download a customized report, which scores exactly your digital readiness across 6 key pathways: connectivity, business growth, e-commerce, big data and analytics, payments, and finally, security. So very concrete outcome of this self-assessment. And with this, you SMEs, you can really better understand basically your existing digital readiness and prioritize your areas for further development. So the report will also provide you SMEs with recommendations and links to digital skills trainings and tools from the program corporate partners, including Mastercard, that you can access through UNWTO program website to help you navigate your digitalization journey. So as part of this Digital Future program, we also connect you small and medium-sized businesses to 2 Mastercard resources. The first one is a Mastercard Academy Entrepreneurs Odyssey, and the second one is a Mastercard Trust Center. So let me tell you very quickly about those 2 resources you will find. The Mastercard Academy Entrepreneurs Odyssey teaches entrepreneurs basically the skills and concepts for you to design, launch, manage, and grow your business. And it does this through free education resources and recorded masterclasses with professors from Harvard, from Wharton, and INSEAD, as well as Mastercard experts. The second resource I was mentioning, the Mastercard Trust Center, offers really free research, education, and resources to help you develop greater cyber resiliency, as we know that SMEs are really hit by cyber risks in this digital world. So we really believe this Digital Future program is very concrete again. It really helps you SMEs in the tourism sector moving ahead in your digitalization journey and moving ahead for more resiliency and more growth. I would like maybe to end and to add also that at Mastercard, more broadly, we are really focused on enabling tourism for good, with a focus on people, on places, and on small businesses. That is really the vision that actually we have developed and we are pursuing through the Mastercard Global Tourism Innovation Hub that we launched last year, actually out of Madrid with the sponsorship of the Spanish government. It really leverages the power of Mastercard partnerships, the technology, our data and expertise to create a tourism industry that really meets the needs of all stakeholders, the government, the local communities, the travelers and enterprises. And actually the Tourism Innovation Hub of MasterCard has a particular focus on SMEs again, as we truly believe it's the backbone of the tourism industry. And we know that they were most impacted during the crisis. So this is what I wanted to share today.
Thank you, Solveig, for the really insightful presentation and really going into details how the diagnostic tool provided by MasterCard is working. And once again, it's said by Alessandra, said by Solveig, said by myself, please go to the website, please use it. It's there for you. It was created for you, for your benefits. So please make sure that in the next couple of days, weeks, months ahead, you at least give a try how it looks like, even if you will not do the training at the end. It's going to give you a better understanding where you are standing vis-a-vis digitalization in your business. And of course, once again, this is a free of charge program at the level 1. So hopefully you can benefit from the various training programs and opportunities provided by the key and strategic partners. So thank you, Solveig, once again. Let's move forward, and now would like to give the floor Mr. Ramon Sanchez, Head of Strategic Projects for Destinations, on behalf of Amadeus. Ramon, the floor is yours, and then you are pinned and in the middle of the screen.
Hello, Peter. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today with all of you, and also a pleasure for Amadeus to be a partner in this key project of digital futures. From Amadeus, we always think that SMEs are one of the key business areas in the industry. We want to help them be more digitalized, to help them grow, to help them also share their revenues and share the impact on their communities. No? And to talk about it, we have 3 key areas that we truly believe that we can help them understand better what's going on, and also in real cooperation with the destination. We truly believe that destination play a key role here. So the 3 areas are data, understanding data, what's going on, helping knowing whether people are searching. That's one of the key elements. How many travelers are going to arrive to a destination? That's one of the key points. Second one is related to advertising, data-driven advertising, helping SMEs and also destination run the right campaigns to attract the right people. And the third area is going to be related to digitalization, helping the digitalization and distribution of small activities. So on that purpose, I have a short presentation. Let me see if I can share my screen. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see it, Ramon. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Peter. So that's the key thing. So data, we used to say that data is a gold mine, but in reality, data is behind everything that we do right now. Everything that we do should be related to data. We use data to take many decisions, and that's one of the key points, and that we truly believe that SMEs need to take the potential of data. So let me show the 3 key areas that we talk about. Is that, see if I can move my next, sorry, the next, okay, perfect. So the first thing is understanding data. I think one of the key points here is to help SMEs and also in collaboration with destinations to understand what's going on, And it's key for them to understand the traveler journey through data. For destinations, for SMEs, it's key to know what's happening. Where are my customers? Where can I find it? How they behave? When do they search? When they are willing to travel? Because at the end, I would like to attract them to my destination. And it's important to know that the traveler behavior. So searching data is a key element. Another key element is related also to how many travelers are going to arrive to my destination in the next 6 months. I want to know if I have a small hotel in Malaga, I would like to know how many people from South Korea are going to arrive to my destination in the following 6 months, because it will help me define what is the right maybe the right menu, the right people are hiring the right people here, there, having the right profile of people to attend them, or the right language and so on. So this is a key element. And we truly believe that having access to data and understanding data is the key element. That's why we have also been partnering with UNWTO in creating what we call the Data Masterclass, where we spend a few days with people at the destination, explaining them the data, how to use it, how to use it to understand the data. Because one of the key elements is not only having the data, as understanding it. And that's one of the purpose of us in these digital futures, help SMEs understand data. But it's not only the data, it's also understanding about the traveler profile. It's important to understand if you want to attract certain profile, what we call the ideal traveler. If you want to attract them, you need to know where are they, how they behave, where they're searching, and that's important, and that's one of the key elements. And combining all these kind of things, you can understand a little bit more about the traveler, and that's it. So that's the first area, and this helping SMEs understand the data. What does it mean? What does it mean for me? What is my value here? The second step is related to digital advertising. More and more, data-driven advertising is one of the key elements of for our destinations and also for SMEs. To understand how can I track the right profile and with the right campaign and track them. So on that area, we work today with more than 70 destinations all around the world, helping them driving the right campaign, advertising on every step of the traveler journey, and trying to attract the right traveler to the destination. This is very important because it's not only for big countries, it can be also done for SMEs. Let me put some example. If you are an owner of a work center and you want to attract digital nomads to your place, usually maybe you run digital campaigns on social media. You attract certain profile of traveler and you say, okay, I want to attract people that are young, they travel a lot, or they want to work in certain places, but you miss something important. You miss the intention. So with our technology, we can mix the traveler profile with the travel intention, knowing how many of those people are searching for a trip that may be more than 20 days. So if you are an owner of a work center, you can have a campaign focus on certain profile of traveler, but you know they are willing to travel. And this can be done also for big countries, for big destinations. So that's another element where we truly believe that SMEs need to increase their knowledge. They need to understand better how digital advertising and data-driven advertising work and perform, because this is a changing story and it's going to happen very, very fast in the next, when I'm moving in there every week there are new changes, and I think it's something is important for destination to understand better about more data-driven advertising. And the third area, it's about digitalization. From Amadeus, we truly believe that we need to help small activities to be digitalized on that purpose, and also to help not only to be digitalized, but also to be distributed and to help them to be sold. So on that purpose, we have developed what is called Amadeus Discover. This is a platform that helps small activities to be digitalized. And with our tools, they can be easily digitalized, they can accept bookings, they can accept payments. But what is more important is not only the tool to be digitalized, it's also that we, thanks to the Amadeus ecosystem, we help them be distributed in different areas. So they can be distributed in airlines, in travel agencies, and so on. So it's a combining the technology, because we create the platform, we help activities to be digitalized, but also we provide the distribution. We have now some live customers like the island of Mallorca, where we are working with them, and they are now making bookings for their activities. And this is a key role for SMEs. SMEs need to be helped to be digitalized, and that's something that we can do. And this is the third area. What we really truly believe is not only having the technology, it's also having the capability to help to be distributed. So again, these are the three areas that we truly believe we can collaborate in partnership with UNWTO to help SMEs acquire the knowledge on these three key areas. One is related to data understanding. One is important, define the right traveler they want to track. Second thing is related to digital advertising, data-driven advertising. It's very important for SMEs to understand how they can benefit from technology and knowledge. And the third one is related to drive, help SMEs activities to be digitalized and to receive, to be distributed and receive bookings. And that's important to grow to create the growth. So that's our idea about the power of data. The idea is to collaborate between UNWTO and help SMEs to have improved their knowledge, and also collaborate with destination DMOs in providing that technology and that knowledge to destination. And that's my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramon, for the great presentation. I also feel honored that you wanted to do a favor for me, because I recognize one of the pictures is from lovely Budapest, from the castle area. So thank you for that. As you can see, the amount of expertise is assembled within one program called the Digital Futures Program is just incredibly huge and big. But of course, beyond the program, each and every partners has way more things to offer to you. So please feel free, of course, to reach out to individually to each of every partners and try to find also some additional synergies and helps to grow your businesses further. In this regards, I'm really happy to go further in the program and call upon Adrian Suarez Armas, the head of strategic projects of Telefónica. Adrian, the floor is yours, and then you are occupying now the main screen. Adrian, please go ahead. Can you try it now, Adrian?
Yes, thank you very much, Peter. Sorry about that.
No, and your camera is still missing.
Yes, I don't know why, but it stopped and I cannot reactivate it. So let me try and share my screen and move to that. Okay.
Yes, we can see your screen. Yes,
okay.
we can.
Okay, so thank you very much, Peter, and the whole organization for having us today. I will try to briefly introduce what is Telefónica Tech to the audience and share with them what we call the smart data path, and what is the role of this path in the digital transition, hoping this helps SMEs to anticipate what they will find in the digital transition program that we are presenting today. At Telefónica Tech, we provide B2B digital services both to large companies and also obviously to small and medium enterprises too. We are a global holding that helps companies to walk this digital transition path through 5 main technologies that we are using nowadays, which are connectivity in the first place, cloud services, cybersecurity, and last but not least, AI and IoT and Internet of Things. I am responsible specifically for the strategic projects combining the last two, AI and IoT. These two technologies, as Natalia mentioned in her video, are fundamental to the digital transformation, and even more, I think that they are fundamental to the tourism sector transition path for the digital sector. IoT and AI, as more of you should know, enable companies to capture detailed data in real time from the physical world, which is key for the digital transition. We can think about bringing data from the operations of our nowadays interaction with customers, for example, or even through the environment, and then connect, combine, and analyze different data sets to enable the right decisions at the right time. What we do at Telefónica Tech is channel and enrich this kind of data at every step of what we call the smart data path, as I was saying at the very beginning of my presentation. This is for us the smart data path. It's just a very simple, straightforward 5-step framework for building decisions on top of data. So what we do with customers is going through this 5-step framework to help them build innovative and new digital solutions for their businesses. And obviously it works really fine for tourism and obviously for SMEs in these sectors. Going step by step, the first one is that the data is obtained firstly from sensors in our environment, and obviously in the objects that we as users, as customers use daily. For example, when we use our smartphone to browse, for example, an amusement park website, for customers entering an hotel lobby, or for any visitor enjoying, for example, their time at the shopping center. There is that data there that we can use technology to gather that data and then use that to make better decisions. This is the first step. The second step is then when the first piece of value comes, really, is when this data is transferred from where it happens to when the decisions are making. This goes from one word to another through our network, through connectivity, and what we make is make this data fully available. When the data actually arrive, what we call the service platform is when the customers decide how to process and analyze this data, and also when to combine this data with other internal and external data sources, actually to build the use cases that solve this specific business need. This last is what Ramon from Amadeus was mentioning a few minutes ago, is using data to actually make better decisions for certain business needs. Furthermore, in this step, that increases or can increase its value thanks to the use of AI for building description, prediction, or even prescription models that you will use to go further in the decision-making processes using data. What I'm trying to say is that step by step, data can bring our customers deeper knowledge about their businesses and operations, provide them more useful information on helping make better decisions. When it comes to tourism, this smart data path can help different agents within the sector to bring more value to specific stakeholders. For hospitality, for example, we can use this framework to start building new offers to our customers. For example, customized offer with a specific customer attention, innovative and new services based on digital insights that we can bring from the different data sources that we have at our disposal, or even try to work for better prices to specific guests if we are talking about hospitality. For leisure facilities, we can work with this framework to create greater experiences for visitors using data, for example, on top of cutting-edge technology such as virtual reality or even digital spaces. Or even we can go for cities to help them become smart cities by collecting data through the environment and using this data to better manage the infrastructure and services, and obviously to start sharing this data in what we call data spaces, sharing data from the cities to the private companies too. We at Telefónica, we have been connecting people and businesses in the tourism sector for almost 100 years. And in the last decade, we have been working with hotels, retail brands, online travel agencies, and many other small, medium, and obviously also large companies, helping them integrate data in their day-to-day operations. And for us, working this data path to try to do better decisions is what is key at the end of this digital transformation. For us, the digital transition program that we are presenting today and the European Agenda for Tourism 2, obviously the transition pathway, are all aiming to the same goal, which is providing toolkits, training, and also guidance for the SMEs for them to begin their own digital journey and start obviously building solutions on top of this smart data path or other frameworks, and try to reach that kind of goals that are at the end of the digital transformation. For us, this is all about helping them through the way. We have the capabilities, all of the stakeholders here today are aiming to the same goal, we are all together to help them move along this way. So thank you very much for having us here today. Thank you, Peter. This is our presentation from Telefónica.
Thank you, Adrian, for being with us here today and for the great presentation. I think there is already several common things along the presentations coming from my different sectors. The nature and the power of data, which everyone is using, of course, MasterCard from its credit cards and debit cards, a huge amount of raw data, which could be transformed into decision makers to use it for the better future. Of course, when it comes to telephone data, and of course, when we talk about Amadeus, is its own way and collecting data from various sources, I think it's very crucial. And now I'm very happy to move forward and present our next speaker, Mr. John Lohr, who's Director of Strategic Partnership and Innovation of HOSCO. And of course, it's a special occasion that today he's having double head, because HOSCO is having a very strong and symbiosis relationship with another partner who unfortunately couldn't be here today, called Lobster Inc. And John is going to be speaking for both companies around the next 10 minutes. So John, the floor is yours, and then you will occupy the middle of the space from now onwards. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Peter, for the kind introduction. Thank you to UNWTO to involving us. Let me share my screen briefly, and Peter, just let me know that you can see it. Yes?
Yes, I confirm. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. Just a moment. Okay. All right. So yes, I wear two hats today. I am the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Innovation for HOSCO. But as Peter mentioned, Lobster Inc. is one of our core partners. And I believe today I'm going to explain to you why HOSCO is involved with this initiative, why Lobster Inc. is involved with this initiative, and how we hope to help the SMEs. So first off, HOSCO. Who are we? Essentially, we are like a LinkedIn for hospitality. And what we want to provide to the SMEs through the Digital Futures Initiative is solutions for attracting talent. Alessandra mentioned at the beginning of our event today that talent attraction is one of the biggest issues that employers are facing right now. And when I heard about the Digital Futures Initiative, I felt that this is one of the key ways HOSCO could contribute the most. So how can we do that? Well, again, we are like a LinkedIn for hospitality. So on the HOSCO platform, there are currently over 1.6 million hospitality talents. Those are students, alumni, and professionals. And everybody is there because they're looking for a job, connection to a job, or to learn more to get a job. So this is our absolute core focus, connecting talents to employers. But beyond that, we also have a network of schools where we have 400 plus partnerships with schools. So we have the ability to get into the curriculum of the schools, into the career departments of the schools. And then, of course, our main stakeholder are the companies. They are joining HOSCO to promote their brand, but of course, to also post their jobs and recruit talents. Now, the interesting thing about HOSCO is with this 1.6 million member audience, we are also able to gather a decent amount of data, both in terms of who they are, in terms of seniority, where they work or where they want to work, and obviously their location. And as you can see by the third pillar here, the majority of our members are based in Europe. HOSCO started in Switzerland, now we're based out of Barcelona, Spain. So in terms of aligning our services and technology to this initiative, we felt particularly for Europe, we can have the biggest impact. But thinking about that impact, we also wanted to sort of play a bit of a role in a data provider in terms of research. So we have done our own as well. We did something called a talent trend report in hospitality, which we interviewed thousands of our current members and asked them simple questions, such as, what was your main reason for joining the industry? And as we found out, which probably doesn't come as a big surprise, passion for hospitality, meeting people, diverse environments, creating unforgettable experiences, travel opportunities, cross-training, and salary, a bit farther down the line, those were some of the main reasons why people want to come to the industry. So then we can ask the question, why are we having such a talent shortage? And is there a talent shortage? A majority of our employers said they are very concerned. Keep in mind, this report came from 2021. It's a little bit outdated. We have a new one coming out in a month. Fortunately, I couldn't have that data ready yet, but I'm sure that it's going to move from very concerned to extremely concerned. So we have a mismatch between what the talent wants and what the employer is delivering. And so what we feel on HOSCO is that it's not just about saying, I need talent or come work for me. It's about convincing young people and people in the industry to work for you. And in that element of convincing, that's where we wanted to help the most. Because we believe that job boards are dead. We believe that a talent seeker looks for far more than just a job. They look for the company, the DNA of the company, the reason for the company's existence, who works at the company, and really an emotional connection on why they should come to that company. And that's what we do on the platform. We create company profiles that don't just say, we're a hotel in Barcelona, we're hiring. They talk about the story of the company. They show videos filmed by the GM, by the head of HR, by even the employees saying, this is why I love it here. And we're trying to connect what that company does to, again, those interests of the talent in why they want to enter the industry. So very simple, we are giving free company profiles and the ability to post jobs on HOSCO to any SME who participates in this project. As Alessandra mentioned in the beginning, we want to equip the SMEs with tools. We cannot play a big role in, as they call the mise en place, such as Telefonica can, such as Amadeus, and such as MasterCard, in giving these amazing data packages to understand the needs. But we can give tools and resources, and that's our goal. So number one, any SME who participates is going to have a free company profile on HOSCO and the ability to post jobs. Those jobs will be visible to our 1.6 million members, and then the companies will be able to follow up with their hiring after the member has shown interest. This is what we're doing for the program. But we also realize that our reach doesn't extend to every country of Europe or every part of the world. So we're also giving a free turnkey career page. It's a bit funny that when you look at a big hotel, you very rarely see pictures of the employees. You usually see pictures of the beautiful locations and the beautiful outlets and whatnot. You don't see the people. And most importantly, one of the worst user experiences a visitor can have to a website is the career page. So we thought, let's slightly help that regard. So we make their own career pages for companies. They can have a beautiful simplified format. And when the job seeker wants to find out more, they're redirected to the HOSCO environment where we utilize all of our additional tools to promote that company. Again, for any SME participating in this project who wants it, we're going to give that free turnkey page. And why that's also important is, again, we know that not all members on HOSCO might reach the right employer. If we have employers from Iceland, I'm sorry, we don't have many talents from Iceland on HOSCO, but they can have that page to reach out through a basically non-logged in version to promote through any channel, through Facebook, through Twitter, through TikTok, the URL to find their jobs. So HOSCO's role in this is to help the SMEs attract talent. And we believe we're best positioned to do that because we have been providing these services to over 14,000 employers around the world, but particularly in Europe. And we're very happy to be a strategic partner of UNWTO for this opportunity. So that's the HOSCO role. Now I put on my new hat and I talk about Ecolab and Lobster Inc. If HOSCO can help attract talent, Ecolab can help train and retain top talent. That's Ecolab in partnership with Lobster Inc. So it really goes absolutely hand in hand. And if I go back to those reports that HOSCO generated, we also asked the question, what is the key reason for leaving the hospitality industry? Number one was a lack of work-life balance. Number two was a high level of stress. Number three was low pay. Number four was abuse by customers. Number five was lack of career development. Now, we can't solve all issues of all employers. It's difficult for HOSCO to have a direct play in helping work-life balance or reducing stress or influencing salaries or abuse of customers. The lack of career development, this is where we think we could make a difference. But we didn't want to do it alone. That's why we brought in Lobster Inc. I'll get to that in a moment. We asked another question, how much training have you received from your employer? Again, this is to our thousands of members. The majority answer was none. 26.3% said they got no training from their employer. So again, if we reflect on that original survey of why do you want to enter the industry, you want to delight guests and all these wonderful things, but if you're not given the tools to do it, you're going to eventually leave. So this is where we brought in Lobster Inc. We made a deal with Lobster Inc. And I truly mean we made a deal. We negotiated this deal on behalf of SMEs around the world to make their enterprise level training solutions, which are already adopted at Hilton, Marriott, Hyatt, Four Seasons, Kempinski level, available to SMEs as part of this project. What Lobster Inc. is a bit similar to like a Netflix for hospitality training. When you log in as an employee, you have 200 plus practical online courses available. And these are not talking head videos. They are deeply practical simulation training. And they're delivered in 2,000 micro lessons. A couple of minutes a day, you can learn a basic skill. They're industry accredited. They've been created with industry experts, and they also include gamification, medals, and certificates of completion. We've titled this joint initiative as Hosco Learning, powered by Lobster Inc. And again, why did we work with Lobster Inc.? We truly believe they are the best. If they're giving all of these resources and they've been adopted by all these major brands, they must be doing something right. But again, with the goal of this initiative and really the vision of this initiative, we saw an ability to democratize. And I think that's a big word this initiative should focus on for future partners. Democratize the resources that Lobster Inc. has to the SMEs. So very clearly, this is what we will do. We will provide free essential public health courses to every SME who takes part of this program. Why public health? Because whether we like it or not, COVID is still here and it might rear its ugly head in the future. But more than COVID, the awareness and the need for cleanliness has been greatly increased in the eyes of the guests. So we think that it will help SMEs attract guests when they give their people training in disinfecting, in effective use and face coverings, in reassuring clients that they will be in a safe, clean environment. This is one of the core needs we think we can solve for the SMEs who don't want to make it up on their own. And with Ecolab backing these courses, we have a worldwide expert in health, safety, and sanitation producing the courses. So resource number one is free essential public health courses for the SMEs. Resource number two is free onboarding courses. Again, looking back to what do talents want when they join a company? They want to be supported. So we're going to give free access. It is for a limited time. According to Lobster Inc., it's going to be about a month, but we're still working on extending that. But right now, when an SME signs up, they have 1 month free of training for room attendants, for bartenders, for servers, for baristas, for managers of F&B, for front office agents, all of the core facing activities, and all of the people who need support the most when they come to a small property. So once again, we don't want the properties to reinvent the wheel. We want them to take those expert informations and courses from Lobster Inc. and apply it to their daily businesses. That's not all though. Of course, Lobster Inc., when a company is interested, can make available everything. This is, I guess, what you call sort of a freemium plan. Not everything can be made available, but certainly the most core courses can. And when a company wants to have more courses, they can contact Lobster Inc. or Hosco to get that. So let me just leave you with a brief video to give you an idea of the Lobster Inc. experience.
Morning, first day, how are you feeling? Don't worry, we have everything you need right here. And we're here to guide you through it. learn from the best to be the best.
Okay. So that's all I have to say. Hosco is here to help SMEs attract talent. Lobster Inc. is here to help train and retain talent. Thank you very much. And again, thank you to the UNWTO for including us in this amazing initiative.
Thank you, John. Unfortunately, the video, we have seen it, but there were hardly any voice. So with your permission, if you can share it with me, we can place it on the websites and people can download it. So thank you very much. I think it was extremely interesting in the fact that it was slightly different than the other presentations. It brought different aspects of SMEs when it comes to talent acquisition, human workforce development. So I'm really looking forward to integrate to the offers into the full program. I will reach out to the placeholders of the website and integrate accordingly. And I think that the 5 digital path will be just 6 digital path, and then giving the opportunity for providing this extra tool on talent acquisition and talent outreach. Thank you very much once again. So I will keep you now in the center and adding everyone else to create a little. Now we have Adrian also. Misha will come. Where is Ramon? Ed. Now we have, who am I missing? Alessandra, if she is with us.
She is.
Yes, then also put you on the screen. We have Misha, we have Solveig, Ramon, Adrian, John, myself, and Alessandra.
Peter, Misa, not Misha, Misa.
Misha, yes, it's a different
Thank you. I
Misha
didn't want to say
department.
anything. I didn't want to say anything, but thanks.
No, because Misa, we have a colleague in the UNWTO that is called Misha, and the colleague has also a very specific role. So I guess that's why it's stuck in Peter's mind. But no, Misa is definitely Misa.
So thank you very much all for the wonderful presentations. We have a little bit of time for a Q&A session. So maybe a rapid fire chat for each and every partners, particularly. So I would like to turn to MasterCard first and then have a question. It might be enough for 1 minute, but maybe if you can provide us so we get a 2 minutes answer, that would be wonderful. So the question would be, how has the way of doing businesses evolved pre and post-COVID?
That's a good question. Well, I think we all know that the crisis was a harsh reality for many SMEs, but I think it also created actually opportunities for those that could innovate and could take advantage of digital channels during the pandemic. According to a recent study actually that we delivered with the MasterCard Economics Institute across 19 markets, the number of SMEs that went online tripled between 2019 and 2021. So it really accelerated the digitalization of the SMEs. And SMEs that were digitally enabled during the pandemic saw a 5% increase in customer spending, 5% increase in customer spending, and 4.5% increase in spending transaction compared to their peers. So this is huge. This is really huge. Really digital during the pandemic fostered business growth. And that's why I think that the COVID-19 pandemic taught us many lessons around how basically digitalization creates new opportunities for small businesses. I think, let me name maybe 3 of them. Definitely it increases market reach because digital platforms can help small businesses reach bigger markets more easily. It gives a better access to formal financial services, so access to capital. That is one of the biggest hurdles that small businesses face, often because actually they lack credit history. So digitizing merchants' payments histories can help the financial standing of a business. And 3, it helps optimize business operations. So from inventory tracking to supply chain insights, there's a variety of tools that can help small businesses be more efficient in managing their operations. So I think COVID was a big hit. definitely, but it's also an opportunity to accelerate the need for digitalization of SMEs and to achieve, I think, these positive impacts. Again, I mean, it's all that we're talking about in this Digital Future Program. What is needed is tools and training that are tailored to SMEs. And it's robust collaboration together, public and private sector, that brings together our expertise, our resources. We saw it in the different presentation today. We are all complementary. We all bring different resources, skills, expertise that can be helpful. We are complementary. So let's work together. Let's collaborate together to bring those resources to SMEs. And I think that, again, the Digital Future Program of UNWTO is really a fabulous.
Thank you, Solveig, for the wonderful answers. I think what you have mentioned, the beauty of being different entities which are on the market competing more or less for the same sector is coming together, working for the common goods, and bringing your own resources and your own strengths to one single platform, which is the Digital Futures Program. Let me turn now to Ramon. Solveig mentioned opportunities for the sector, so I would like to go a little bit more deeper. From the Amadeus perspective, how do you see, what are the opportunities which SMEs can embrace right now?
Okay, Peter, just to give a little perspective, when I used to work in Amadeus many years ago, mainly on the travel agency sector, and I always thought that they were one of the SMEs more technology advanced, because 35 years they were able to make bookings, online bookings, thanks to the technology that GDS like Amadeus provided them. Then they came the electronic ticket, and then creating websites and have the capability to contact directly with the customer, thanks to the technology that we provide. And the challenge right now is to expand that capacity to other areas. It's like small hotels, they have technology, we provide them with PMS, with solutions also to websites and so on. And then the next challenge is going to small activities. Small activities are the ones that really need are now in the moment of doing the next step and being digitalized, and also to be distributed. Not only to be digitalized, also to be in the market and reach other customers. And that's, for me, that's the big challenge for SMEs, that use technology to reach more customers, to be more profitable, to spread the revenues across the communities. And that's, I think that is how can, from Amadeus, we can help them. And that's one of the key areas of the Digital Futures programs, is that how can we support them in this movement of going beyond digitalization, and also going and attracting the right traveler. And we also see this in cross collaboration with destinations, with DMOs. It's a cross collaboration between, and creating an ecosystem between destinations, travel agencies, activities, hotels, and airlines. And that's how do we believe SMEs can benefit, and that's the challenge for them.
Thank you, Ramon. I totally agree with you, and I think we can all agree that by using digitalization as a tool, it has an overspilling effect on so many other areas. What has been said earlier today by many of you. So why focusing on digitalization without even saying it's part of innovation, it's part of talent acquisition, and many other things. Let's move on to have one other question to Adrian for Telefonica. How does Telefonica Tech help SMEs in tourism walk the digital transition path? And what are the key successes in this journey? If you can maybe raise one or two, that would be fantastic from a real practical experience.
Sure, thank you, Peter. As for the first one, how do we at Telefonica Tech help SMEs in this transition path? We put in place like 4 different types of services. The first one is we provide data sets with great insights about audience segmentation and visitors to certain physical places that our customers can use to make better decisions in terms of how to modify their offering to reach to target audiences. This is the first one. Second one is that we put in place IoT-based digital solution also for our customers to be able to gather more data from their operations and interaction with customers. For example, we can help them do inside visitor profiling and trying to understand how visitors and crowds use the physical spaces in a digital way, so they can start knowing which kind of places, areas, and services works better for each kind of audiences and visitors for specific places. This goes not only for hotels, but also for museums and leisure centers, malls, or whatever that we can think of. This is the second category. The third one is that we also put in place assessment services, like in a professional service way. We kind of provide consulting services to our customers to define and also implement their digital transition strategy. We have them with our experience to define technology frameworks, to select and prioritize use cases, for example, on what to do next on their business list, and also to identify the skills gap really on their workforce. And the last service that we provide for SMEs to work this digital transition path is certainly the training services that we provide in our IoT and Big Data Academy, in which we have both technical but also business profiles to go deeper into these technologies and start gaining some new skills that are needed, not only to understand the technology framework around them, but also to be able to lead internally the implementation of their strategy. This is as per the first question that you mentioned. And the second one is, okay, we have this data transition path to walk, but can you provide some tips? No, what are the keys to success in this journey? Probably my colleagues in the Hosco, Amadeus, and Mastercard can complement me with some other tips that they may have. I have identified at least 5. First one is to try to run avoid the fear of missing out of new technologies. For example, what we have recently experienced with trends of Web3, or maybe nowadays with AI. I recommend to always start by finding suitable digital solutions for relevant and urgent business need, and try to do that much, not the other way around, not starting with technology and then try to find a business need that matches that kind of technology or that kind of use case. It doesn't work that way. You have to start with the digital, with the business need actually. And the second one is, I recommend to go small before go too big. This is what we do is to start with a proof of concept with a specific scope within the company, and then validate that proof of concept within that scope. And if that goes well, we go for a scale up of that solution. It provides our customers with the third tip, which is trying to manage better the cultural change in this transition path, because digital is mostly natural not in any company, but also not also for SMEs. You have to manage the cultural change by not only providing internal communication, but also trying to move ahead of what will be needed in terms of internal skills to build. And the last one, the fourth key to success for us is to, maybe you have to start this digital journey with a partner, but as soon as possible, we recommend for you to lead the strategy and also to start building these internal skills to be able to gain autonomy, to be able to continue defining and also implementing this strategy along the way by yourself, mostly as a company. This is my very brief answer to the key to success in this journey. It's a long journey. There are many other keys obviously here, but this is like the main 4 from our side.
Thank you, Adrian. I think it's really nicely feeding to the next question, which I'm going to ask to John. I think the skills gap, not only the digital skills gap, but the skills that in general is a huge issue, and COVID-19 highlighted how important is talent acquisition and really investing in talent and investing in skills and upskilling the current skills that you are having. And of course, the other thing that grabbed my attention, and I think John maybe can talk about it, is about this cultural change, no, within an SME, the company. So my question, John, when it comes to your HOSCO hat, would be what can SMEs do to attract talent to work for them, not just the guests to stay with them? And then when it comes to lobsters, I think it's a good question also, and really related to digitalization. Will online learning replace in-person training in the future?
Right. So on the first question, obviously there are ways to basically attract the talent, as I said in the presentation. You know, having an ability to tell the story of your company, not just post your job, having the ability to share who works at your company and the stories behind those people to attract new talents. I mean, not just HOSCO, there are other companies who can help with that digital branding, if you will. But what we're finding at HOSCO is that because this is such a huge issue of talent shortage, and because the issue is shared by most employers around the world, governments need to step in and start promoting their countries as workforce destinations, not just leisure and tourism destinations. There is a story to tell to a talent from Spain why they should work in Ireland. There's a story to tell to a talent in Pakistan who is now suddenly hearing he can come to Portugal. Because what's happening now is that governments are realizing the shortage is a massive issue, and they're looking at reducing visa regulation requirements for certain nationalities to come to certain countries. Just yesterday, I was talking to ministers of Croatia who basically said Filipinos have saved the Croatian tourism industry for the summer of 2023. So it's one thing to say, let's just bring the people in, but it's another thing to convince them. So I think that governments and SMEs need to work together in building branding packages to convince talents to come to a place. Will they provide accommodation? How easy is it to get a visa? Will they be given a working wage? What are the work opportunities after the internship, for example? Can I stay in the country? I think we forget sometimes that the decision to work for a company and to have a job is also related to where you're going to live. So and maybe that's a role UNWTO could play in the future of really helping countries brand themselves as workforce destinations, working with top companies to produce amazing content, distributing it on Twitter and TikTok to reach the B2C audiences, and then obviously making those jobs available, which HOSCO hopes to help with, so they can start applying for those jobs. That would be my answer to you on the HOSCO side. On the Lobster Inc. side, no, obviously no. But there are ways that online learning can support training. I don't know if any of you have ever worked for a company who's gone through a health and safety training, or maybe a fire and safety training. They're usually the most boring things on earth, but they're necessary in terms of compliance and regulations. Well, does that have to happen by getting a bunch of people in a room and making them suffer through a death by PowerPoint presentation? No, it doesn't. So Lobster Inc. sort of claimed the fame, and frankly, why they were acquired by Ecolab is because they can make the boring things really exciting and make it stick. So I believe that the right blended approach to training in the future is taking the more theoretical or basic practical skills, deliver it in an online setting so that when the talent comes to the property, they just have a marginal extra amount of knowledge, which will then further the learning when the employer demonstrates. So, okay, you saw a little bit of information about setting tables, let's do it hand to hand. Okay, you saw a little bit of information about knife skills, let's do it in the kitchen. And it isn't just about learning the right skills, it's the employer showing the talent, I'm investing in you. So it's a mind game as well as a skills game. Compared to come and work for me, go set tables, he'll show you how. It shows they're investing in their growth, in their development. And again, by using tools like Lobster Inc., I think it can make that learning stick in a quick manner. So those are my thoughts on that.
Thank you, John. I think your insights about this business from an HR perspective is very, very valuable and will bring benefits and value to the program. And then I'm really happy that you said that there is a future for online training, because this is, at first, this is what the Digital Future program is all about. So, and I really liked it, the way you framed it. Misa, over to you, and I would give you the opportunity. Now you had 4 different presentations, 4 different answers. I think there are lots of synergies which are already ongoing when it comes to the work of the European Commission is doing, but I would like to hear your thoughts maybe in a couple of minutes after all these presentations. What do you think, which are the key points where further synergies could be found with the companies, and how UNWTO could bring this forward under the leadership of the Regional Department for Europe and Alessandra towards the European Commission? Thank you, and over to you.
Thanks so much, and thanks everyone. I have a comment and I have a question. Actually, I know, well, up until now, obviously I know what MasterCard does, and Amadeus and Telefonica, and the reason why I know this, we've been in touch through you guys as well. So I think UNWTO is really very good at creating all the synergies and links, and I'm grateful. And I'm getting on the comment here. And sorry, Hosko, for keeping you on the side just for a second. I know that what I knew up until a couple of months ago is that these 3 companies and the Spanish government were working on some kind of privately owned data space for tourism. Correct me if I'm wrong. The idea is it's not just about digital training and digital skills of SMEs, but it does target SMEs, and it gives them a leg up to when it comes to accessing data and sharing data across domains. So my comment is, we're very happy that this is happening. Sometimes the perception is, oh, the European Commission wants to centralize this thing, don't do it because we need to. No, we're very happy this is happening. Some of our governments are also doing their own data space at national level. So what we are going to have to do when it comes to these national examples is also learn from them, pull them together as much as possible so that we can coordinate it in a way that works for everybody. And by the way, you will hear about this tomorrow. But then my comment is this in question to these 3 companies, is this project still going on? I know that it involves digital skills, and I imagine there's a link to the Digital Futures program with UNWTO, or is there? Maybe I'm wrong. And so I'd like to know more about this. And the reason why I like to know more about this is, first of all, it's exactly what we want to achieve. So you're just preceding us, and you're doing it with your own resources, which are massive and important and substantial. And you have that extra added value of being the private sector, working for the private sector. So you know what SMEs need. If they need an app to access information, if they need a platform, then that's something you can provide. So I'll be very interested in knowing what you're doing there. But I also had another question for Hosko, about that I didn't know up until today. So John, it's nice to meet you. I think what you're doing is super interesting, and I hope we'll be in touch in the future also with UNWTO. The question for you is, you opened your presentation by saying we had this idea and we thought the market to do it was Europe. And can you tell me why?
Simply because it's a chicken and egg. If you can't provide employer talent solutions if you don't have the talent. And so, as you saw in the presentation, the majority of the talents are in Europe on the Hosko platform. Everybody has a profile. They listed their education, their experience, their skills, etc. So it's just a logical place to begin. And particularly Spain, we have a high number of talents. France, essentially Southern Europe, which is logical because that's where the tourism, I guess, industry is really focused.
So you have defined talent in a way that allowed you to find it on the European market.
Yeah, in terms of building the company, it really was chicken and egg. In the very beginning, we started in Switzerland. We got all the Swiss schools on board. We got all the students from those Swiss schools on board. That gave us a capacity to go to the industry and say, hey, instead of spending all this money traveling to Switzerland every year, you can save less and post your jobs online, plus build your brand and access those talents. And then it expanded to European wide. And then the other market we're in outside of Europe is certainly the Middle East, with like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, because of its extreme demand and development there too. Yeah.
Right.
So
yes.
Maybe Misa,
please, we have a couple of more minutes before we need to close, and would like to give them the floor to Alessandra. Maybe we can bring this Solveig in a separate discussion initiated on emails. I just want
Right.
to reply briefly to Misa that yes, definitely. The Digital Future Program is live, up and running since 2022 May. There is a central website, which I'm going to share with you, where every information which has been shared today is available there. Is an up and making program. As you can see, we are happy to have additional partners bringing a different angle to the digitalization of SMEs sector. So definitely it's very powerful, and thanks to our partners, we can make it even more powerful and make it a success to provide them to our SMEs, not only in Europe, but beyond. So once again, thank you very much for everyone, our key partners, MasterCard, Amadeus, Telefonica, Hosco, and Lobstering, and of course to European Commission. Best of luck, Misa, for tomorrow's European Tourism Day. And of course, without any further ado, let me give the floor for concluding remarks and to Alessandra. Alessandra, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, my dear. I'm not going to take too much time. Only I'm going to use, hopefully, skillfully, the 2 minutes left. First of all, I want to thank everyone for your availability to join here. I just love the discussion that was taking place now. Misa, we are not only providing platforms to unite, let's say, countries and people, and mainly private sector, but we are definitely remarking all the time that we are at everyone's service, including the one of the European Commission and the European, in general, institutions. So once again, thank you. Digital Futures, the program to scale up SMEs through digital trainings, building the required skills for today's changing tourism sector is right there waiting for you. Use it. SMEs, use it. Get in touch with us. We're at your disposal. Please make sure that you're giving us and the companies that are so generously joining us in this initiative have all the information to support you. I just want to give you one short information. We will be convening all the, let's say, the countries that are members of the region of Europe will be convening at the end of the month, to the 1st May into the 2nd of June, in Sofia, Bulgaria, for our 68th Commission for Europe. And this will be a very important step to continue consulting with member states on the current challenges and priorities that we're facing now in tourism. During the side conference of the meeting, we will still be talking about skills and education and their importance for continued and sustainable growth of tourism in the region. So we are looking forward to all the proceedings of this initial presentation, because what we'd like to do, we like to feed member states and everyone with not only our initiatives, but with the development of it. So we're very much looking forward as well to update them about the collaboration with the European Commission. And we're very much looking forward for tomorrow for the European Tourism Day. Once again, congratulations, Europe, for doing it once again. Thank you very much, everyone, for the attention. And I really hope that you found this webinar as enriching as I did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandra, for the closing remarks. Once again, thank you all. Thank you, participants who took the time to be with us today, and very much looking forward to rejoin you with any other occasions. Bye-bye and have a nice day.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.